This film was shot entirely on the Sirui Saturn 35mm anamorphic lens. Affiliate links for the sponsors of this video can be found in the description below. The most honest form of filmmaking is to make a film for yourself. I am happy being a YouTuber. It was odd at the beginning, you know, you'd say to your friends, hey, I'm a YouTuber. They look at you like you're a madman. A madman. Completely cuckoo. And then a few years later, they're like, yeah, I wish I was doing what he was doing. It's a fantastic job. I remember watching Peter McKinnon and I was in awe. I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. I normally wear my hat, so I will wear my hat. It makes me feel like a YouTuber, you know? My mum called me a month or so ago, well, she calls me every day, but she said, why didn't you wear your hat? It's you. I'm like, I did wear a cap when I was young, and my mum says my hair would fall out, so yeah. But now she tells me to wear the cap. I don't actually wear a hat on a day-to-day basis, but when I put it on, it's like magical. It turns me into a YouTuber. My parents are incredible. I love them to bits. And they have supported me my whole life, and it's been incredible. I hope I'm in focus. The journey, life as a journey, it's been crazy. I only found what I really wanted to do when I was 38, when my daughter was born. It's funny because they say you search for the meaning of life, your whole life, and I found it when I had children. I finished a master's in cinematography, and I thought I was going to go to Hollywood, you know, do incredible stuff, film Hollywood things. But I didn't. I moved to Poland, studied cinematography, and stayed here. And I do love this place. I think my blood is like 100% Polish, but I was born in London, lived there my whole life. So finding where I wanted to go was a weird journey, because I worked in different places. I worked in a cheese factory for 45 minutes, you know. I worked in the police in London. I worked in very odd places. And I worked as a fashion photographer. I shot for Elle magazine. I worked as a portrait photographer. I did a lot. And it wasn't till I saw Peter McKinnon and started searching for YouTube that I found friends like Peter Lindgren, and they really inspired me. In fact, it was really difficult to contact Peter because his channel blew up, and you know, I wrote to him on Instagram. He didn't reply for about a year. And then he finally did, and we have great contact now. You know, we talk a lot, and it's inspiring, and it's great when two people meet, you know, and they bond from completely different sides of the planet, but you have the same electricity, you know. That's what makes YouTube great. Everyone I've met is positive. They charge you positively. I started off copying. You know, I started off copying films from, my first film was a blatant copy from Peter McKinnon. Basically, 1-for-1 copy. And it did terribly. It was awful. And it wasn't the last film I copied, because then I started copying Matty and I started copying Peter Lindgren. And, you know, I saw he did a smartphone video and I copied it, and my video, I think to this day, has 300 views. It was terrible. It was terrible. So, copying isn't a bad thing, but copying allows you to find your way. There are people who know their way straight away, but there are some of us that need to copy, need to try something out, need to learn. And that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's taught me a lot. It's taught me to find my own way. It's taught me that copying someone one for one sure may teach me a few things, but it won't show me my path. And I think I've done almost 400 videos now, which is a lot. I can be proud maybe of 1% of those videos, which is something I'm trying to change right now. My path was not to go into drones. It definitely wasn't to do update videos, which I hate with a passion, even though I do a couple, because a couple are quite interesting. But it was to teach cinematography, to experiment with cinematography, to use an actual camera that you hold in your hand, create with that. So drones were a part of showing that, you know, you could use another tool. You've got another tool in your shed that you can film from above or from behind, or get some crazy shots that you couldn't do holding a camera. But I didn't want to jump headfirst like I did into it. I'll continue it because I really enjoy drones, but that wasn't the only path I wanted to take. This is still sharp, right? This is still sharp. And even though films by Peter McKinnon, Peter Lindgren, Matthew Hapea, Daniel Schiffer, they all inspired me a lot, I found my own path. It wasn't until I stopped copying that I felt happy with what I was doing. And I found my own way, really. And it's been interesting, and it's getting a lot more interesting. I have a lot of plans. I accepted a lot of products that I shouldn't have accepted for free. I've decided now that all my films are going to be sponsored, but in a positive way, in an honest way, so that I can support my family. I can continue doing this, continue creating for everybody out there. And that's my path. That's what I want to do. I want to create. I want to experiment. I want to show you. I want to share with you what I know and learn together. And I think that's beautiful. And I think a lot of people like doing that because we almost feel like we're in school. You know, we're learning together, and that's fantastic. And I finally got to a point where I'm happy. You know, I found myself with the support of my parents, my family, my friends, companies. This film is sponsored by FilmConvert, by the way. All these shots have been edited with their plugin, which is fantastic. They're an absolutely incredible company that are nostalgic for me because it takes me back. When I was studying cinematography, I was filming and cutting, editing with scissors. So tape, and it was 35mm. You know, we'd film on Arri cameras. It was something. It really was. So using FilmConvert for me is special, and that's why I like using it. And I love what comes out of it. Music like Artlist, it's another company that supported me and have sponsored me. They make fantastic music. Aperture, like DJI, there are companies that I'm using right now. A microphone from DJI, a light from Amaran. It's helped me create. It's helped me get where I am. And it's all because I started a channel on YouTube. The reason I started actually was because my daughter was born. So I thought, what the hell am I going to do? So I remember watching Peter Lindgren hit 800 subscribers on YouTube and blowing balloons, and he was so happy, and I'm like, right, I want that. And I think that was in November, maybe 2018, was it? So 2019, 1st of January, New Year's resolution, I started my channel. And a couple of years later, here I am, happy as a pig in shit. I really am. This is by far the best job I've ever had. And if you are thinking of starting a YouTube channel, don't wait. I've got goosebumps. Don't wait, just do it. It's a journey, it is. There's a lot of frustration. There are a lot of times you want to give up. You get burnout a lot. But just do it. Do it. That's how I check focus. It's at a meter, so I should be sharp. Fingers crossed. I would also like to thank every single one of you out there for watching my channel, commenting, liking, pressing the button. If you haven't pressed the button, press the button. The bell. I mean the bell. And don't be afraid. don't ever be afraid. You need thick skin to be a YouTuber. You really do. But once you get past the initial part of the crap, the future is fantastic. Thanks. There is no better time than right now to be creative. Just go and do it. Also, thanks to Luke. He helped me grab some of these shots.